John, I've got to get your initial take on Pope Leo the 14th, the first American pope.
I wish it was Pope Leo the 13th, but it's 14th, right? So it's he's obviously chosen the name in to maybe in some capacity mimic the very traditional pontificate of Pope Leo the 13th. So that's a good thing going for him. We're grateful to see that. I mean, Jack, you and I were both in the square the moment, right, that the white smoke came out. How about that? Pretty crazy to have 50,000 people or more just race to be there in the square for this moment. And for me,
John,
personally,
by the way, something that occurs to me about Pope Leo the 13th. If I remember correctly, Pope Leo the 13th is the first pope to ever appear on film and the oldest person to have ever been filmed, himself being born in 1810. So there you go. Little fact right off the top of my head about Pope Leo the 13th.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Of course, Pope Leo XIII is the one who produced so many of the first encyclicals, which laid the foundation for the Catholic social doctrine. A lot of those encyclicals that he wrote really went to the heart of what was basically on the rise, atheistic Marxism, right? So he condemned that in his pontificate. So
is that when
strong pope
when he was born. So when Pope Leo the 13th was born, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were still alive.
There you go. He was around with them 14 years. I think they died in 1824. So he overlapped with them. But in any case, we have Pope Leo the 14th. I do not think that he will be like Pope Leo the 13th, but we'll see if I'm proven wrong, right? Jack, when he first came out, did that not for you?
Well, it was.
Did you?
For me, it's I guess on there's two sides. There's the part of me that's the reporter who wants to know all the details, who wants to know everything that went down. Then there's the personal side, which just for me, as a Catholic, it was a tremendous experience to be looking at someone who's in the seat of St. Peter, a successor of St. Peter, direct apostolic succession all the way through from, and again, above the spot where St. Peter himself was martyred and is buried. And that is just something, and you and I were saying earlier on the Charlie Kirk show, just a surreal moment that I never thought I would experience in my life, having been a kid who grew up in a working class area in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, to be looking at the Pope on his very first public address years later. Just something I never ever saw happening. 1 minute to the break though, John, we've seen a lot of these tweets up there. Is this an anti-Trump Pope?
Hard to say. Yes, he did go, after J.D. Vance a little bit there early on. He also has retweeted some of the George Floyd things earlier on, but I don't want to write someone off. I wouldn't want someone to write me off just based on tweets alone, right? It's not exactly fair. So we'll see how he shapes out. But, I'm still just currently at the moment kind of caught up in the moment of what it was like, I'm a Catholic too, of having our spiritual father promised to us in John chapter 21 when Christ asked Peter to shepherd his sheep. We've seen that line of succession up until the present day, and we're living that now in this moment. So
quick break. We'll be right back, folks, here. Jack Posobiec live in Rome.